Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you a powerful mindset, one that can change your life and lead you to ultimate success. It is the ability to act as if nothing affects you in the face of challenges, doubts, and external pressures. Those who master this principle rise above all obstacles. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It is the source of all your thoughts, decisions, and ultimately your results. Everything that happens in your life, good or bad, begins in your mind. If you want to live as if nothing affects you, you must start by mastering your own thoughts. This is not about ignoring reality or denying challenges. It's about choosing what you allow to influence your inner state. Control your mind and you control your emotions, your reactions, and your direction in life. Most people live in reaction. They allow the words of others, the disappointments of yesterday, or the fears of tomorrow to dictate their mood today. But the person who acts as if nothing affects them understands that external events are meaningless until they are given meaning through thought. No one can make you feel inferior unless you permit it. No failure can defeat you unless you decide that it has. When you begin to treat your mind like a fortress, guarded, focused, and disciplined, you begin to notice that outside forces lose their grip on you. True power lies in the ability to remain centered, no matter what is happening around you. Imagine a storm raging outside, but inside your mind there is complete calm. That calm is a decision. It's the result of training your mind to stay focused on what matters rather than being pulled into every distraction, insult, or setback. The person who can stay calm when others panic, who can maintain vision when others doubt, is the one who leads, wins, and thrives. Thoughts are like seeds. Plant fear and you grow hesitation. Plant doubt and you reap inaction. But if you plant strength, certainty, and focus, you grow the kind of mindset that sees opportunity in adversity. The mind will always reflect what you feed it. That's why you must feed it only that which supports your purpose. Speak power into your own mind. Build an internal dialogue that reinforces your worth, your capacity, and your mission. This level of mental discipline is not something you're born with, it's forged. You create it through repetition, self-awareness, and an unwavering commitment to never let external noise dictate your internal world. You must choose your thoughts with precision, because every thought either builds your empire or burns it down. You don't have time to entertain weakness. You don't have the luxury of letting doubt run unchecked. When you train yourself to think deliberately and powerfully, life begins to shift. You no longer chase stability, you create it. You no longer seek approval, you command respect. And no matter what happens around you, you remain unshaken because your strength is not based on circumstance, it's rooted in something deeper, something unbreakable. Control your mind and you become the master of your fate. Let it run wild and you become a slave to chance. The choice is always yours. And when you choose mastery, nothing outside of you can ever touch the power within. Belief is the foundation of all achievement. It is the silent force that shapes your actions, your results, and your future. When you act as if you are already the person you aim to become, you begin aligning your energy, your behavior, and your reality with that identity. The truth is, the world responds not to who you are, but to who you believe you are. If you walk with the certainty of someone destined to succeed, you begin attracting the opportunities, the people, and the outcomes that match that mindset. Most people wait to feel confident before taking bold action. They wait for validation, for a perfect plan, for someone else to confirm that they're ready. But those who win understand that belief comes first. You must decide that you are already capable, already worthy, already powerful, long before the results show up. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You're not faking confidence. You're stepping into it. You're not pretending to be great. You're claiming the greatness that's already within you. When you act as if nothing affects you, you carry yourself with an energy that doesn't flinch in the face of failure. You don't crumble when others doubt you. Why? Because your belief is not fragile. It is rooted in vision, not circumstance. You've already made up your mind about who you are, so outside opinions cannot rewrite your internal truth. This creates a powerful mental posture. one that allows you to move forward with boldness, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Your belief system sets the ceiling on your potential. If you believe you are limited, you will act in limited ways. You will hesitate, procrastinate, and self-sabotage. But if you believe that you are capable of achieving greatness, you will move with conviction. You'll take risks others fear, speak when others stay silent, and rise again when others give up. Acting as if success is already yours conditions your mind and body to operate at the level required to achieve it. This doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. It means you won't let those mistakes define you, because in your mind you're already beyond them. You've already envisioned your success so clearly that setbacks become mere stepping stones. The actions you take are powered by that belief. You show up differently, think differently, lead differently. People notice. They respond to that certainty. They feel it in the way you speak, the way you move, the way you carry yourself. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you believe you deserve. And when you believe, truly believe that nothing can stop you, that you are unstoppable, unshakable, and built for greatness, then your actions follow. And once your actions align with that belief, the results become inevitable. Believe so deeply that it becomes your reality. Act as if it's already done. Speak victory, move with purpose, and live every moment from the mindset of someone who knows exactly where they're going. Because when belief becomes your default, success becomes your destination. Emotional discipline is the ability to stay in control of your internal state, no matter what happens around you. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about choosing how you respond rather than reacting impulsively. When you act as if nothing affects you, what you're really doing is exercising this discipline. You are refusing to give your power away to external forces, be it criticism, failure, disrespect, or uncertainty. You are signaling to the world that you are in charge of your emotions, not the other way around. Most people are slaves to their emotions. One piece of bad news ruins their whole day. One insult triggers anger, defensiveness, or insecurity. One failure leads to days or even weeks of self-doubt. Emotional discipline creates a kind of mental armor. It allows you to take the hit and keep moving. It doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you control how deeply you let things penetrate. You've trained yourself to think before you respond, to breathe before you react, and to act with intention rather than emotion. The person who can master emotional control becomes untouchable. When others lash out, they remain calm. When pressure builds, they stay composed. This gives them an incredible edge, because when emotion rules the mind, clarity disappears. And when you lose clarity, you make poor decisions, say things you regret, or quit when you should persevere. Emotional discipline protects your clarity. It keeps you focused on your goals, not the distractions or drama swirling around you. When you act as if nothing affects you, you're not being cold or detached. You're being powerful. You're showing the world that you choose strength over chaos. You are not emotionally unavailable. You are emotionally intelligent. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. You know when to express and when to withhold. And most importantly, you never let your emotions make decisions for you. You make them from purpose, principle, and long-term vision. This level of control isn't easy. It requires training. You must become aware of your emotional triggers. You must observe your impulses without acting on them. You must learn to sit with discomfort and still hold your ground. This is the work, and it pays off in every area of life: leadership, relationships, business, performance. The person who doesn't react to every little thing commands respect. They are seen as composed, reliable, and unshakable. Emotional discipline also means you don't let praise inflate you or criticism deflate you. You stay grounded, focused, and humble. You know who you are and where you're going, so no one else's opinion can shift you off course. You've become immune to chaos because you've trained your mind to remain calm under fire. And when you can maintain calm, you can see clearly, move wisely, and win consistently. Act as if nothing affects you, not because you're numb, but because you've trained yourself to rise above. Emotional discipline is not about pretending, it's about power. It's about knowing that the real victory is not in controlling the world, but in controlling yourself. There is a truth that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The winners keep moving forward, no matter what. They don't stop to complain. They don't waste time explaining themselves to doubters. They don't look for sympathy when things go wrong. They adjust their strategy, correct their course, and keep going. That's the mindset behind acting as if nothing affects you. It's not that nothing ever goes wrong. It's that you refuse to let what goes wrong stop you. When setbacks come, and they always do, the average person takes it personally. They internalize the failure, question their worth, and start to second-guess everything. But those who truly act as if nothing affects them are different. They treat each challenge as information, not condemnation. They learn, adapt, and evolve. They understand that forward motion is the key to momentum, and momentum is the key to success. Even a small step forward in the face of adversity is more powerful than 1,000 complaints. The truth is, the world doesn't wait for anyone. Life keeps moving. So the question becomes, will you move with it, or will you let fear and frustration hold you back? Those who win are not always the most talented, the most connected, or the most experienced. They are the most consistent. They keep showing up. They keep trying. They keep believing in their vision, even when they're the only one who can see it. And when you act as if nothing affects you, you're signaling to yourself and to the world that quitting is not an option. This mindset doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means you won't give it power. You won't stay stuck in it. You won't let it define the next chapter of your story. It means you'll take the hit, but you won't stay down. You'll face the loss, but you won't lose your identity. You keep moving forward, not because it's easy, but because you've made a decision that your future is more important than your current frustration. People with this mindset don't look for perfect conditions. They don't wait for everything to line up. They build as they go. They take messy action, knowing that momentum is more valuable than waiting for perfection. They understand that hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever will, so they move. And when they move, doors open, opportunities appear, and breakthroughs happen, not because they were lucky, but because they refused to stay still. You must decide that you are the kind of person who keeps moving, who doesn't flinch in the face of resistance, who doesn't take no as the final answer, because in the end, the one who keeps going is the one who arrives. And when you act as if nothing affects you, you claim control over your own momentum. You become unstoppable, not because the road is easy, but because you refuse to stop walking it. There is something undeniably magnetic about a person who walks into a room and owns it, not with arrogance, but with presence. That presence doesn't come from noise. It doesn't come from shouting to be heard or demanding attention. It comes from the quiet, unshakable energy of someone who knows who they are. When you act as if nothing affects you, you exude a calm authority that naturally draws people in. That's the power of presence. And it's one of the most underrated forms of influence you can possess. You don't need to announce yourself when your energy speaks for you. People pay attention to how you carry yourself, the confidence in your posture, the conviction in your voice, and the stillness in your gaze. Confidence is not loud, it's solid. It's the difference between someone who tries to prove something and someone who simply knows. When you move through the world with that kind of certainty, you become a person of influence, not by force, but by example. Commanding presence begins with the way you think. If you constantly doubt yourself, that doubt shows up in your body language, in your tone, in the subtle hesitations you may not even notice. But when you choose to act as if nothing affects you, you start moving with intention. You walk with purpose. You speak with clarity. And most importantly, you stop seeking approval. That shift alone changes how others respond to you. People follow those who look like they know where they're going. When you show up with certainty, others trust you more. They listen more. They align themselves with your vision more easily because they feel safe in your conviction. This is the true essence of leadership. Not control, but influence. Influence is earned when people sense that you are unaffected by doubt, fear, or pressure. That steadiness creates gravity. It draws people into your orbit. To build this level of presence, you have to train yourself to show up as your highest self, regardless of circumstance. You don't shrink in unfamiliar rooms. You don't become small when others have more experience, money, or titles. You remember that you bring value wherever you go, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Your internal state defines the energy you carry, and when that energy is rooted in composure, confidence, and quiet certainty, people notice without you having to say a word. This mindset also allows you to navigate challenges with grace. When others panic, you stay poised. When things fall apart, you remain grounded. That calmness under pressure not only earns respect, but makes you a stabilizing force in any environment. You become the one people look to when everything's uncertain, not because you have all the answers, but because your energy says, we'll figure it out. Presence is not about perfection. It's about power, personal power. It's the result of choosing to be unshaken, to lead yourself before leading others, and to own every room with quiet strength. And when you act as if nothing affects you, your presence becomes undeniable. Life doesn't yield to hesitation. It doesn't rearrange itself for the timid or the uncertain. It responds to those who move with conviction, who declare what they want, and who refuse to be pushed around by circumstances. When you act as if nothing affects you, you begin to exert your will on the world rather than being shaped by it. You stop reacting and you start creating. Reality begins to bend not because it's easy, but because you're no longer willing to let it dictate your path. You become the force, not the effect. The person who moves through life with an unshakable mindset sends a clear message. I am in charge here. Not in an egotistical way, but in a way that reflects deep personal authority. That authority comes from a decision that you will no longer wait for permission, no longer seek external validation, and no longer let fear call the shots. You begin to trust your instincts, back your choices, and move forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. That's power. That's how reality starts to shift in your favor. Weakness is a magnet for defeat. When you hesitate, when you second guess, when you shrink, life senses it. People sense it. Opportunities sense it. But when you carry yourself like a person who already knows where they're going, when you act as if success is inevitable, you start to influence your environment on a whole new level. You attract results not by chance, but by sheer force of will, backed by belief and bold action. This doesn't mean you won't face obstacles. In fact, the stronger your energy, the bigger the challenges. But here's the difference. You don't fold under pressure, you rise. Because your reality is no longer built on what's happening around you, but on what you've decided within you. That inner decision becomes your anchor. And when you're anchored, storms don't scare you. You don't sway with every shift. You move with intent, with clarity, and with direction. You begin to live with the mindset that everything is moldable. Time, money, relationships, business, none of it is fixed. It all responds to the level of certainty and dominance you bring to the table. You stop saying, I hope this works, and start saying, this will work because I will make it work. That shift alone creates momentum, and momentum creates outcomes. To live this way, you must train yourself to become mentally immovable. Not in a rigid way, but in a strong way. You must believe that you can influence life more than life can influence you, that your will, backed by consistent action, can outlast resistance, rejection, and delay. You must stop asking life to be easier and instead become stronger. When you act as if nothing affects you, you stop being a product of your environment and start becoming the architect of it. You stop reacting to the world and start bending it. And the moment you take full ownership of your reality, the world begins to move differently around you, not because it changed, but because you did.